Good morning, children. Once again. So let us start the class. So yesterday we have learned about the light reaction in the mechanism of photosynthesis. It is also called as a photochemical reaction. It is a light dependent reaction and it is the first step in photosynthesis and it takes place in the grana part of chloroplast. And the end products of light reaction are NADPH and ATP. So these are the end products of light reaction. And now, next step of photosynthesis is dark reaction. So next step of photosynthesis is a dark reaction. What is a dark reaction? Dark reaction means it does not mean that it takes place in the dark only. One thing is it does not require light. Okay, so that is why it is called, it is independent of light. So that is why it is called as a dark reaction. So light reaction is always followed by dark reaction. It is the second step in photosynthesis. It is a light independent reaction and it takes place in the stroma part of chloroplast. Second step in the process of photosynthesis. So we have seen the equation for photosynthesis, that is 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of sunlight and chloroplast gives rise to glucose C6H12O6 plus 6O2 which is liberated into the atmosphere plus 6H2O. So we have seen in light reaction water is utilized in the process of photolysis. Sunlight is utilized and in the chloroplast chlorophyll utilizes the light energy and oxygen is released and water always escapes through stomata in the process of transpiration. And glucose is not formed yet and carbon dioxide is not used. So carbon dioxide is used in the second step of photosynthesis, that is dark reaction. Dark reaction is also called as a biosynthetic phase. It is called biosynthetic phase. Biosynthetic phase. It is also called as a carbon fixation cycle. It is also called as a carbon fixation cycle. And it is also called as a Melvin cycle. It is also called as a Melvin cycle. Why dark reaction? Why it is called dark reaction? Because it does not require light. That is why it is called dark reaction. Biosynthetic reaction means synthesis of food material will take place in the plant. That is why it is called biosynthetic phase. Carbon fixation cycle means the carbon dioxide, the carbon which is present in the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide is fixed into the form of glucose. That is why it is called a carbon fixation cycle and it is also called as a Melvin cycle. Why it is called Melvin cycle? Because a scientist Calvin cycle. Calvin cycle. So a scientist known as Calvin has discovered this equation, this process of the equations. That means what are all the chemical reactions that are taking place in the dark reaction. That is why it is called as a Calvin cycle. Melvin Calvin, a scientist's name. Melvin Calvin, he has discovered the sequence of reactions. That is why it is called Calvin cycle. So for which he won the Nobel Prize. So here this is the thing. So this is the introduction for dark reaction. And so this dark reaction, first this carbon dioxide is accepted by, there is a substance which is called as ribulose biphosphate, RUBP, ribulose biphosphate, RUBP, ribulose biphosphate. it accepts, that is, it is having 5 carbon atoms, and it accepts, it takes the carbon dioxide, and it undergoes a sequence of chemical reactions, cyclic reactions, and finally forms glucose, and this RUBP is regenerated back. The carbon dioxide, the carbon which is present in the carbon dioxide, is synthesized into glucose, simple form of carbohydrate. This RUBP, ribulose biphosphate or diphosphate, it takes up the carbon dioxide and it undergoes a chain of chemical reactions and finally forms glucose. So that is why. So it all requires a number of enzymes. So enzymes, I have already told you, enzymes are biological catalysts. So they speed up the chemical reactions without taking part in the chemical reaction. So these enzymes, they will speed up the chemical reactions, and there is another factor which is temperature. Temperature is also very important for the process of photosynthesis, and with the increase in temperature, the process of photosynthesis speeds up only up to certain temperature. After that, the enzymes become denatured, they'll get killed. So that then after certain maximum temperatures, photosynthesis will not take place. So there will be optimum temperature. That means with increase in temperature, the process of photosynthesis will take place. So temperature, enzymes, and also carbon dioxide is important. The increase in carbon dioxide will increase the process of photosynthesis, and in the same way, sunlight, I told you, blue to red light is very important for photosynthesis. So here we have seen small molecules like carbon dioxide and water are joining together to form a larger molecule. That is why it is called as anabolism. It is called as anabolism or anabolic reactions. So constructive reactions, small molecules are joining together to form a larger molecule. So for the formation of larger molecules, energy is required. This energy is obtained from sunlight. Okay. So that is why. So sunlight is very important. That means where the plants get energy, and water is important for the process of photolysis. And next thing, for the formation of energy-rich compounds. What are the end products of light reaction? NADPH and ATP are the energy-rich compounds. They are called as assimilatory power. They are called assimilatory power, which are used in the dark reaction for the process of for the production of glucose. So NADPH, ATP are called assimilatory powers. They help because a small molecule combining with RUBP and forming larger molecule, and RUBP is regenerated back, and this glucose is formed. For the formation of larger molecule, energy is required. Where the energy is obtained from? The energy is obtained from the end products of light reaction, NADPH and ATP. So that is how from smaller substances large molecules are formed. So this is about dark reaction. So for dark reaction, it is also called as Kelvin cycle, because Melvin Calvin discovered the sequence of reactions. It is also called as a carbon fixation cycle. That means the carbon which is present in the form of carbon dioxide, which is present in the atmosphere, is getting fixed in the form of glucose. That is why it is called a carbon fixation cycle, and it is called a biosynthetic reaction. So it is synthesized in the living organisms. The food is synthesized in biosynthetic reaction. It is called a dark reaction because light is not required. It is independent of light. So this is how the glucose will synthesized, and this glucose is soluble in water. This glucose is transported through phloem vessels. So xylem transports water and minerals from the roots to the leaves, and from the in the leaves the food is synthesized, and the glucose which is soluble in water is carried away by the phloem vessels to various parts of the plants, and then it will get converted into starch which is insoluble in water. And so when it requires transport is required, especially during night times, again the starch will get converted into glucose, and the glucose is again supplied to all parts of the plant. So the transport is bidirectional. That means not only from upwards to downwards, not but down to up. That means from all parts of the plant the food is supplied. So that is how the leaf has the different parts. Each part of the leaf has its own role to play in the synthesis of food material. That is the mechanism of photosynthesis. Hope you have understood. Suppose if you have any doubt or clarification, please let me know. So let us continue with some other topic. Continuation of this, the same, the process of photosynthesis. Okay, thank you.